to start this game. Fuad Reveiz has it teed up at the 35, deep to receive. Darryl Clack, number 42. Kelvin Martin, number 83. A sellout crowd here at Texas Stadium, and an important ball game for both clubs. They still have playoff hopes, but a loss tonight might damage those severely for either team. High, short kick. And Martin takes it at the 16-yard line. Got a seam. Reveiz, the man to beat him, Reveiz, knocks him out of bounds after a 38-yard kickoff return. And special teams is a place you can get an edge, Roger.
Well, that's for sure. That's a short kick also, about down to the 20-yard line. And a young quarterback standing on the sidelines, you love to see a start like this because you're in good field position, and it's a good start for Pelluer.
Steve Pelluer is the Dallas quarterback. 3-6 as a starter last year when Danny White is injured. He has only taken one snap from center this year and was knocked out of the ball game on it. Play fake to Walker, and Pelluer, who's got great speed, will run it and gets down to the 40-yard line. Pinned there by T.J. Turner. He gains 7 yards on that play. The Cowboys' future will rest on the shoulders of Herschel Walker. He had 173 yards last week. The line is young. Tom Rafferty, the only man with more than 2 years as a starter. They have not opened many holes for the running backs for Seth or Walker. Renfro in motion on 2nd and 3. Walker, first carry. Jackie Shipp, the first man to get to him in that Miami defense. And the Dolphins defense has not been able to put much heat on the quarterback this year. John Bosa drafted to help the pass rush. He does not have a sack. The linebackers are better since Offerdahl has come back from a severe arm injury. The secondary, it lacks speed, and the best cover man, William Judson, was hit with 4, count them, 4 interference penalties last week.
The Dolphin defense, you can expect to give up the big yardage rushing. In fact, 9 of their last 11, 140 or more rushing yards. Particularly last week, 170 against Dickerson.
3rd and less than a yard. Walker. First down and more. Broke a tackle. Look at the balance. Inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. First down, Cowboys.
This guy ran a 9.9 in the 9th grade, Roger. He gives them tremendous dimension, catching and running the football.
Well, you can't tackle Herschel with your arms. That's been obvious. And Langford tries to get his arms around him here and just doesn't do it. He'll get 5 or 6 yards. And last week he broke that final touchdown through 2 tackles, and that's why he's in there. They feel the offensive line is young, and they want Herschel to break some plays. Dorsett is good, solid runner, but Walker can break the big tackles.
1st and 10 at the 28. Timmy Newsome busted straight up the middle. Newsome still on his feet to the 15-yard line. Ball came loose. Let's see if it's after the whistle or not. And apparently it is down at the 15-yard line. Newsome does not get that many carries, only 9 this year, but they saw something on that one.
Yeah, he's a plodding runner who won the job from Ron Springs, but when he does get the ball, Roger seems to run well with it.
Well, that's right, and they're keying on Herschel Walker, and it's nice to have Timmy Newsome in there, who's really a blocker, but with a runner like Herschel, they're going to be keen on Herschel, and Timmy will sneak in there now and then. That was about a 15-yarder on a key off of Walker.
Miami embarrassed a week ago by the Colts offense, and they said, what do you think's going to happen with Herschel Walker? He's better than Dickerson. They got him that time. Jackie Shipp in on another tackle along with John Offerdahl, number 56. And Jackie Shipp is no longer the target of all the critics. Former #1 draft choice out of Oklahoma. He is starting to realize his potential.
Improved a great deal, obviously, in the doghouse for the last couple of years for the Dolphins. Playing much more aggressively, getting to the outside, making the plays as he did that time. He should be happy over Oklahoma's victory against Nebraska yesterday, going to the Orange Bowl. The Sooners are.
2nd and 7. Pelluer with the play action, wants to throw. Dumps it off. Newhouse. Touchdown, Timmy Newsome.
if you put all your eggs in one basket and try to cover Walker, it leaves it open for Timmy Newsome.
Well, it's a good play-action fake there to Walker. Newsome's coming back underneath and is wide open. But for Pelluer, they start out with a play-action pass at the beginning of the game. Let him hit the short pass, use your instincts to run the ball, and now he hits the touchdown pass here at the end of the drive with the play action. What a confidence builder for a young quarterback like Pelluer, who lost some confidence towards the end of the year last year, and they were losing. A big drive for Steve Pelluer.
Roger Rozek, who has been a great find for the Dallas Cowboys, comes on for the point after. Jump on top in a hurry. 11 minutes, 13 seconds to go, first quarter. 7-0 Dallas. Presentation of the National Football League is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, engineered like no other car in the world. By the Uniroyal Goodrich Tire Company, makers of premium radial tires for cars and trucks. And by Allstate, for home, auto, and life insurance. You're in good hands with Allstate. 7-0 Dallas. Timmy Newsome on the sideline. A chance to be a star, as it looked like the Miami defense concentrating on Herschel Walker. Newsome in that drive had a 17-yard run and caught the touchdown pass. And Roger Rozek will kick it away for the Cowboys. Deep to receive Lorenzo Hampton and number 81, Scott Schwades. And it's Hampton at the 2. 20. No more than the 23-yard line as the Cowboys do a good job of covering. Everson Walls down on the coverage. A 22-yard kickoff return. Dan Marino continues to amaze everyone in his 5th year. The league's top-rated passer, 17 touchdown passes, only 5 interceptions. He'll have one of his primary weapons back in the lineup tonight. Mark Duper was out with a torn cartilage in his ribs. The line, anchored by perennial Pro Bowler Dwight Stevenson, excels at pass blocking. They have given up only 9 sacks all year. And what else? Marino wants to go to Hampton on the first play. Won't pick up much. Good coverage there by the Dallas linebackers. Mike Hegman in his 12th year out of Tennessee State. And here's the Cowboy defense. The front four much better with frequent substitutions, so the veterans don't wear out. Too Tall Jones is wearing out the opposition himself. He has 9 sacks, number 2 in the league. Gene Lockhart enjoying his best season as the Cowboys middle linebacker. He had 15 tackles a week ago. And Everson Walls heads up a pretty good secondary. He has 38 career interceptions. Second down, 8 yards to go for Miami. Hampton. And Too Tall waiting for him as he got maybe a yard across the line of scrimmage.
He's 36 years old, Ed Too Tall Jones. He dropped about 15 pounds. Is that the difference, Roger, for his great play this year?
Well, he's worked extremely hard in the offseason. He really came to camp. He had an excellent training camp. He stayed in good shape, and it's really paid off for him. He's played well in the entire season, mainly from his offseason efforts.
Second in sacks in the NFL, by the way.
Behind only Reggie White. And a few months ago, they had written Too Tall off. Didn't like that. 3rd and 6. Marino guns near side. Clayton complete. Shakes it back at 40-45. Pushed out of bounds to the 46-yard line. Pushed out by Vince Albritton after a 21-yard gain.
Now, we are going to see tonight, Mike and Roger, the Cowboys dropping 7 men back to defend Dan Marino. What's he going to try to split the scene?
Well, he's going to have to be patient, hit the short one, especially in first or second down. This time, Dan, he knows where man-to-man is. Pruitt went into the inside. They took the safety, and also he was double-teamed, and on the outside, Clayton got man-to-man on Walls. So Marino has to look over that secondary and find the guy's man-to-man throw it to him. That's not as easy as it looked, but he knew who was man-to-man threw it to him.
1st and 10 from the 47. Marino switches receivers and bombs away for Clayton, incomplete. Covered back there man-to-man by Ron Francis, the rookie out of Baylor. And even though he's been burned a few times this year, this kid's going to be a great player.
Came up with a big interception for a touchdown against the New England Patriots last week. Obviously, Roger, Mark Duper's presence in there makes a big difference for the Dolphins' offense. They can't double and triple Clayton like they did last week.
No, it does make a difference. I think tonight you'll see a high percentage of completions on first and second down to the Stradfords, the Hamptons, the Hardys, the Johnsons, the tight ends, and the backs. Dallas, especially with a 7-0 lead, they don't want the home run. They don't want a Clayton or Duper to hit the big one. So Marino's going to have to earn it. He's going to have to be patient, hit underneath the deep coverage.
Keep an eye on 82 to the top of your screen as James Pruitt in for the first time. This is Troy Stradford, the young man out of Boston College. He'll get to midfield where Bill Bates takes him down, the strong side safety, and the number 3 tackler on the team. Roger, this is one of the few defenses that has seemed to have much success with Marino, the 7 defensive back.
Well, it has. It really goes back to that Super Bowl game when San Francisco played him so well. But again, he's done. He understands it now. I talked to him yesterday, and he said you just have to be patient. You have to take the short ones, and the big ones will come later. But you just have to be patient and hit the underneath and make the coverage move up so you can hit the deep ones later on in the game.
Needs 7 yards on this. Good pass protection. Throws complete. What a catch by Clayton. He had Everson Walls turned around, and he's down to the 20-yard line. First down, Miami. Boy, this guy just throws darts.
Well, here's the thing that Marino does that he's kind of a Bradshaw type. Bradshaw used to throw the ball with his arm, and he had total confidence in his receivers, as does Marino. He saw Walls was there going to the inside. He still drilled that ball. Clayton adjusted to it, made a great catch. Walls lost the ball. He was looking inside. The ball came outside, and Clayton adjusted, made a great play. But Marino had confidence in Clayton, and that made the difference in the play.
Miami late getting Tony Nathan on the field. 30-second clock is down to 8. Stradford got a good block and found a hole. Stradford, touchdown Miami.
This is not going to be a defensive confrontation. This guy, Troy Stradford, Roger, Bobby Beathard of the Redskins told me when they missed him in the draft, they were sick to death. Look at the way he turns on a dime, and he's got pretty good speed to the outside.
Oh, yeah, and it's good blocking to the point of attack there. Giesler got a nice block, and Foster, but, you know, Marino really sets up the run with the pass. He's the opposite of the rest of them. Dallas is worried about that pass, and, of course, they were a little bit negligent on letting Stradford get to the outside.
Reveiz is on for the point after out of the hole to Don Strock. He's perfect on it. And we've got some fireworks early in Dallas. 7:52 to go first quarter. It's the Cowboys 7 and the Dolphins 7.
Garage this winter on Nissan Pathfinder. It's
Joe Morris and a more elusive back than Mercury Morris. He got a big block from Tony Nathan to spring the touchdown. We'll see that block in just a few moments, too. A real good block for a guy who's kind of enjoying a second life, Tony Nathan.
That's right. Unusual situation. He was simply released this year and then came back. The role player now. Reveiz kicking off to Clack 42 and Martin 83, and it's Clack at the 4. This time they won't let him outside. Gets to the 25-yard line, and they'll start from there.
All right, let's take a look at the block then. Nathan leading the way. Giesler getting a good block in there, too.
Well, you got Giesler, the left tackle who pulls. His job is to seal to the inside, and it can't be drawn up any better. Nathan's got the kick-out block on Bates, knocks him out of the way, and also Pruitt's doing his job downfield as a wide receiver. And wide receivers really can make a difference in long runs, and he did his job. So it was it worked just the way they draw him up.
You played with a few that were good at blocking downfield and a few that really weren't. Those lookout blocks.
It's a big difference to have those receivers blocking downfield.
First and 10 from the 25. Edwards and Renfro to the near side. They'll go with 3 wide receivers. Newsome is one of them. Give it to Walker. Just barrels into the line this time. And look at all those shirts. The green shirts of the Miami defense. All over them that time. Brodzinski led the charge. And that Dolphins scoring drive went 77 yards in only 7 plays. But that is the way Marino can get it done in a hurry. And the Dolphins are 2-0 this year when they're behind at the start of the ballgame. Steve Pelluer. Young man really has a lot of speed, tremendous mobility. Not as mobile as Roger Staubach, a little faster. Pelluer will pull it down and show you, and he slides in safe at the 35.
One of the raps against Pelluer, I think, was the fact that he headed upfield a lot sooner than he should. In other words, the tendency to scramble before looking for the whole field. Roger, you had to deal with that problem when you first started, too.
Well, that's right. He's got the instincts, though, to be able to run, so he just tucks it away when he's unsure of himself. But he's got the ability to run, so he takes advantage of it. Last year, he was doing that. I think the coaches said, hey, Steve, stay in that pocket a little bit longer. And he took some of those instincts away, and he started second-guessing, and he made some mistakes. I think this year they're saying, get in there and just do what you can to make things happen.
2 tight ends on 30 yards. Walker on the sweep. They're stringing it out. They still can't get it. Langford knocks him out of bounds. Looked like a very slow developing play, and there's no way he's going to be able to turn the corner, but he did.
Herschel Walker runs better, it appears to me, with poorer blocking than Tony Dorsett does. Maybe because of his power. You agree with that, Roger?
Well, Tony is is smaller, and he's really fast. He needs a little bit of daylight. Herschel can run without some daylight because he can shed some tackles. So they're different type runners, both great runners, but different styles. Herschel bowls ahead where Tony is more of a streak quickness.
Pelluer almost picked off by Shipp, intended for Cosby. Jackie Shipp having quite a year this season, and the linebacker's really the Dolphins' strong suit on defense.
Obviously, the problem is that I don't think he was looking upfield when the ball came around. It's the last minute he'll turn around and the ball just, yeah, you see, it kind of surprised him, it looked like.
Yeah, Cosby's job was to turn out, and there was help on the inside also, and Shipp did his job. Blackwood was coming from the inside. Pelluer just shouldn't have thrown that football.
2nd and 10. Edwards and Renfro to the near side. Walker on a delay, and around the ankle, John Boza, the rookie out of Boston College. Really, I think it's a bad rap on Boza to say he hasn't produced. He's only practiced maybe 15, 16 times the entire season. He was a holdout in camp, and really just hasn't had a lot of work. He's going to be a fine player.
Bob Wolf, of course, held him out of camp, and it was getting kind of bitter between Wolf and Robbie Folks. And he missed all of training camp, then the strike. So he really, as you said before, hasn't played very much. He said, I know I can play better. I will show it.
3rd down, 8 for Dallas. Miami desperate for a pass rush and can't get one. Here's Pelluer on the run. 1st down and more. And he slides in safe at the 43-yard line. 17-yard gain for Steve Pelluer.
Remember late last year when Tom Landry had made the comment that Pelluer could be another Roger Staubach. A lot of people figure that really hurt him. And in fact, he went into a tailspin. Does he remind you of you, Roger?
Well, early in my career, of course, I ran a lot more than I should, according to what the coaches said. So Steve is doing that. That time there was a 4-man rush, and also Fry came, 53. So he just saw the opening there and said, I'm going to get the first down the way I want to get the first down. And he was sure of it, but he's got the speed to do it.
Pelluer, 29 yards on 3 carries. Now he wants to throw. 3-man rush, and he airs it out looking for Walker. Beautifully covered. Flag is down. That may be offensive interference because Glenn Blackwood had perfect position.
I would say that would not be defensive interference. It almost looked like there wasn't interference, but Walker did hit Blackwood, and Blackwood had a chance to intercept, so that's why the referee probably called it, because there was definitely a chance to probably intercept the football.
Well, Blackwood couldn't have played it any better, and the Miami secondary has really been blasted, but Blackwood's had a good year.
Yeah, Blackwood had that inside position there, and of course, and he had a chance to intercept the ball. Walker had the push. He has a right to the ball, but he can't push that defender who had a chance to intercept it also, and it was a good call. The fans don't like it, but the referees made the right call.
Of course, Blackwood did his best job of slowing down, too. And he's entitled to do that.
He had good position, though. Blackwood did a good job on that.
1st and 20 after the penalty back at the Dallas 46. Walker. Nice play by Offerdahl. Had a great year as a rookie, had that serious arm injury. He has come back and picked up right where he left off.
Yeah, 9 tackles after missing 10 weeks. He is the second coming of Jack Lambert. This young man starting the Pro Bowl in his rookie year at linebacker. Maybe the best thing you can say about a very, very below-average Dolphin defense.
Made a good comparison there with Lambert. Lambert was a great leader in that Pittsburgh team, and Offerdahl is also a tremendous leader. They really like his leadership, plus he's all over the field.
There's something about that number 56, too. It seems to go around the league. Boy, if you're wearing 56, you're an animal. Second, 17. Here comes the blitz. And Pelluer threw it into a pile. Offerdahl, if he had been looking, could have picked it off. Herschel Walker was sitting on the ground.
Now, that shows inexperience, does it not, Ron?
Well, Steve, you have one choice on the screen. If he's not open, you got to get rid of the ball. Well, he hesitated there. Now, of course, you can't throw the ball downfield because you got people downfield, so that was just a poor play. Once it wasn't there, he should have thrown it away. But he tried to salvage a play, and as a young quarterback, that's your tendency to try to salvage plays.
Have to do more than salvage on this, the 3rd and 17. We're tied at 7, 3:46 to go first quarter. 4-man rush. Plenty of time. He'll run again. Boza missed it. 40, 35, 30. First down. Finally taken down by Glenn Blackwood after a run of 21. And Steve Pelluer has gained 50 yards rushing in the first quarter.
I tell you, Steve is really putting on a show, and he's this is a killer for a defense too. I don't care what they say, defensive people. Somehow we like to see that quarterback run, but they don't. That just takes away their rushing ability. They start worrying about where he's going to run. They have to slow down their rush. Of course, he's got the speed and the quickness, and that's a big play against the defense, and it'll slow down the rush the rest of the game.
1st and 10 after another ramble by Pelluer. They'll go out of the eye. Walker. The flag is down as Walker reaches the 20, but he showed you his strength there. Arm tackles will not do it, but the preliminary signal is a hold against the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys in the last 4 weeks have 45 penalties called against them. The rookie right tackle who has been in there because Phil Pozderac quit the squad. And Pozderac, of course, was a real target here when he would be called for holding. The fans really got on him.
Roger, you'll see it on the right side of the screen. Kevin Gogan with the hold.
Yeah, on a running play, especially with Walker, it looks like there was a double hold in there. Someone pulled each other's shirt. Those are tough ones to call on those quick-hitting running plays.
1st and 20 now for Dallas from the 40. Walker. I'm going to hear that said an awful lot. Just Walker. Turner and Brzezinski make the tackle.
ASC Danny White. Is there a quarterback controversy in your mind right now, Roger?
No, they both get along very well. Pelluer understands White's situation. He's been really a courageous player this year. White's been hurt the whole season. He's had some difficult plays. He's had a couple interceptions that hurt, but he's also come back with plays like he did last week with Renfro. So White's hung in there, but they need a healthy quarterback, and they need some consistency at quarterback. And maybe with the rest, White could come back and kind of relieve with his experience later on in a game or later on in the season.
This is the 11th play of a 6-minute drive for Dallas.
Bootleg. Looks like.
Pelluer hesitated. Now he'll take off. Got a few. Brzezinski chased him out of bounds.
Kind of like a bootleg play. I don't know if this was by design or a broken play, but it sure fooled everybody, including the Cowboy. He went the other way.
5 carries, 57 yards in the first quarter for Pelluer.
He could get 200 yards tonight.
When was the last time you got 200 yards?
When was the last time? Was a quarterback ever got 200 yards rushing the football?
Do you remember the best you ever had in the game?
No, I don't. It's probably hovered around that 100 mark. You know, what happens, the linebackers, too, don't get as deep. They're going to have to start worrying about him, so he'll start having some intermediate routes open later on. So he's setting some nice things up.
3rd and 8. Here comes the blitz. Cowboys pick it up beautifully, and the pass intended for Edwards picked off in the end zone. Taken by Bud Brown. And somebody got hung up on running a route that time, and it looked like it was number 81, Kelvin Edwards.
This could be a missed assignment, Rod.
Yeah, well, Bud Brown made a heck of a catch right there. Pelluer saw Edwards supposed to go to the corner, but he got hung up, ran into the Smith, and then, of course, he overthrew the pass, but Brown made a heck of an interception.
We've got a timeout with 1:25 to go, first quarter. Still tied. After the interception, Miami takes over at its own 20. Hampton on the toss. Not much. The Cowboys stop him for a 3-yard gain, and that Dallas defense has been allowing only 3.2 yards a rush and 2.5 yards a rush in the last 3 ball games. He's done a fine job. Hope you'll be with us on Thanksgiving night. Texas A&M in Texas, the Southwest Conference title, and the right to meet Notre Dame in the Cotton Bowl. It's A&M and the Longhorns. They really get after each other. So get out the mince or pumpkin pie and join us on Thursday night. Clock ticking down in the first quarter, second, and call it 6 for the Dolphins. And Marino trying to give it to Hampton, and Hampton was setting up the block, and Dan had to eat it. It's a lonely feeling, isn't it?
Yeah. Marino is talking to... He's talking to somebody there.
Yeah, he is.
They're not going to win on his legs. They're going to win on his arm. There was a communication breakdown with Hampton there.
You take it, I don't want it. 3rd and 8 now, and mistakes are the things that drive Don Shula nuts. This team is always the least penalized club in the league, and they don't make mental mistakes. 5-man rush, good job by the line, and Marino gets it off. He's got it to Stradford, and a first down at the 32. Stradford gives them so much versatility. Robert Williams made the tackle, and that's the end of the first quarter. Here at Texas Stadium in Dallas, we are tied. The Dolphins and the Cowboys won today, and the Browns extremely impressive.
They've won 7 of their last 9. They may be the best team in the AFC.
That ought to be a lot of fun, and this is a lot of fun right here. 1st and 10, Miami at its own 32. Marino changing the play. Got 4 wide receivers in there. Protection again on the road. Tipped it incomplete. Hardy had a chance to get it, but Gene Lockhart got his hands on it. Well, Lockhart's having a great year, isn't he?
Yeah, the hitting machine.
Yeah, Lockhart's doing real well. Of course, passing on first down is a good strategy against Dallas. But those linebackers with a guy like Marino, they're really getting back there deep. They're not worried about the run as much, so they're getting back deeper. That time Lockhart was in position because Hardy was open, but the deepness of the set on Lockhart almost caused the interception.
Kevin Brooks with the pressure on Marino, the late hit.
Second and 10 off to Hardy, and triple team brought down to the 38-yard line. Rohrer was out there along with Lockhart and Francis from the corner.
Hardy getting in underneath here.
This seemed like it was pretty well set up to go to Hardy. Hardy was well covered, but again, he put that bullet right in his gut. The secondary had things pretty well under control, but Hardy was a short guy underneath, and he just, he's got the ability to get it off quick, but to drill it, and you can't make a mistake as a defensive back because that ball is right where Marino wants it to be.
Miami has converted every 3rd down situation, and so far they have 3rd and 4 here. That was intended for Clayton, and the ball got there in a hurry.
Marino seems somewhat amused.
Well, he threw that one too hard.
Check the penalty with Jerry Markwright. And it will go against Miami. Dallas will decline because it brings up a 4th down.
Oh, wait a minute.
I thought he
just reversed it.
They did change it.
The official said, hey, sorry, it went the wrong way. It's going against the Cowboys.
Cowboys defense was already off the field. Now they're going to have to come back on.
Defense, automatic
first down.
Danny Noonan, number 73, called for the penalty. The rookie out of Nebraska who's getting more and more playing time.
That was one of those probably hands that get pushed in the face.
Yeah.
One of those head slap, or you drill the guy in the face mask, and they call it on Noonan.
And Randy White is very high on Danny Noonan. He thinks he's going to be a terrific player. So it's the automatic first down for the Dolphins at their own 47. Woody Bennett, the remaining back. Screen to Bennett. That was tipped. See who got a hand on it. If history is any indication, it was Too-Tall, but I think maybe it was Brooks.
Well, Dallas is, they're really coached. It looks like Too-Tall gets his hand on the ball there.
Yeah, it was.
But Dallas is coached. Once they have done everything they can to get to the quarterback and they see the ball released, they jump up in the air. And Jones, of course, is tall enough anyway, and he's tipped a lot of passes in his career.
Look at that graphic. Hasn't missed a game in his 13-year NFL career.
Wow. Tipped 2 against the Giants, one of which went for a touchdown. Huge play. Marino. Underthrown and knocked away. Great job by Duper. He turned defensive back and knocked it away from Ron Francis.
Marino throwing into double coverage here, Roger.
Well, it shows his confidence in Duper and Clayton. He did see the double coverage, but he felt, heck, it's Duper's got as good a chance as anyone. He threw it right in there, and of course Duper did his job. He almost caught the ball, but he at least knocked it away from the interception. Francis was right there.
Third down, 10 yards to go for Miami. We have a 7-7 game in the second quarter. Glad you could join us tonight on ESPN. Too-Tall got there a little late. The pass. What a pass!
Unbelievable.
Clayton takes it down as Everson Walls got turned around, and Marino was slow to
It's going to be
get
a
up.
holding on Miami, though. That's going to come back.
And Marino getting up slowly.
Or a late hit on Marino, either one, but looks like holding.
He took a blast from Ed Too-Tall Jones. At the gates, a 28-yard gain.
Big pressure.
Holding. Number 57. Offense.
That's Dwight
Third down.
Stevenson, the Pro Bowler. Perennial Pro Bowler, considered by many to be simply the best in the business.
Well, you
There
get
it
a
is.
chance to see another strength. There's Stevenson in the middle. He's kind of corrals him and holding him and drilling him to the ground there. But Jones comes in, hits Marino. But the strength that Marino has, he can throw off balance and just get rid of that arm, that ball so quickly, but with strength. And he got it down there. Most quarterbacks couldn't have come close to getting it at that distance.
Third and 20. Too-Tall comes again, the screen to Stradford. He's in trouble. Albritton did a great job coming up from the secondary to slow it down, and Manny Hendricks was in on the tackle. And the Dallas defense gets the crowd pumped up at Texas Stadium. Fourth and 15, and Marino will come to the sideline to talk it over.
What's he talking about there, Rod?
Well, he's probably mentioning something to Strock on the previous play, because there was nothing there. It was set up as a screen, but he might be saying to Strock that who else was open on the previous play.
Reggie Roby lays one up. A flag is down as Kelvin Martin takes the punt and gets it back to the 16-yard line. 6-yard return after a 45-yard punt by Reggie Roby, who can really air it out. Now we'll check the penalty for you with referee Jerry Markbrake. And it's procedure against Miami. So Dallas will have the opportunity to make them kick it again if they'd like.
Let me tell you something. The Dolphins, historically the least
6 men
penalized
around
team.
the scrimmage.
Oh.
Number 58 was in the backfield.
Wow.
Back down again.
What makes that penalty even more egregious is the fact that it was a real mental kind of mistake, Roger. He hates any kind of penalties, but players out of position just got to kill Schuler.
Yeah, he doesn't like the mental errors. He's very intense, and he's, of course, a great disciplinarian as a coach, so the mental errors just really bother him more than the physical errors.
Twice last week penalized for too many men on the field. That's just devastating to shoot.
Well, this time they had too few on the line of scrimmage. Rick Graff, the rookie from Wisconsin, was lined up in the backfield. Roby to punt again. Here they come. And Roby got rid of it and airs another one out. Martin fair catch signal, 22-yard line. 12 minutes, 19 seconds to go in the first half. A 40-yard kick and no return. We continue at 7.
Mr. Staubach, Roger to the rescue. You know, he pulled out 23 victories in the fourth quarter, 14 of those 23 in the last 2 minutes. Was their greatest victory, Roger?
I'll say he.
Well,
Drew Pearson, man.
You were part of it.
A lot of guys make things happen.
Dallas takes over at its own 22, 7-7 second quarter. Pelluer with a fake. He's only completed 1 out of 4. That one was almost picked off by Offerdahl. Pelluer has been a star so far on the ground, but not in the air.
Hey, Offerdahl does a nice job here. With Walker running the football the way he has, Offerdahl recognized pass, the play action immediately, and was back in his zone coverage. He just did a nice job defending against the pass.
Dallas has switched centers. George Lilja, number 67, free agent out of Michigan, is in there for veteran Tom Rafferty. And you can see Pelluer has not done the job through the air, although he did throw for the touchdown. He has run for 57 yards. Walker delay. Cuts it outside, and not this time. Jackie Shipp is there, 51. Mark Brown is there, and Brown is having a great year. The kind of year Offerdahl had a year ago.
I wanted to get back, Mike, to the comeback victory in Roger Staubach. What is the key element to coming up with a comeback victory, Roger?
Well, perseverance. You just can't quit. You got to make sure that your teammates believe that you have the capability, whether it's a quarterback or a running back or receiver. It's a team effort, and people have to believe, so you have to work together in unison. You just can't quit. You got to have a lot of perseverance.
Rafferty is back in there at center on 3rd and 9. Pelluer pressured out of the pocket, and they got him this time. Hugh Green, who used to be just about the best linebacker there was and may never return to that form, but he's in on passing situations.
Well, he's just not the same after suffering that patellar tendon injury, blowing his knee out a couple of games into last season. Interesting story. Hugh Green, orphaned at age 6, raised by his grandparents, came up through the ranks. Bobby Beathard said he was the greatest defensive player he had ever seen in college football.
Mike Saxon is on to punt, and Scott Schwades is deep to receive at his own 32-yard line. Pretty good kick by Saxon. Schwades, fair catch, makes it just inside the 40-yard line. A 36-yard kick and no return. Saxon is number 2 in net punting in the NFL. The National Football League is brought to you by Budweiser. Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. By the 1988 German-engineered Volkswagens and your Volkswagen dealers. And by the Hartford, the insurance people of ITT. When you need us most, we're at our best. Miami with a football at its own 40-yard line. 7-7, second quarter, 10:42 to go in the half. Marino has already thrown for 74 yards. Excellent protection, dumps it off to Hardy, and Hardy up to the 46-yard line. Flag is down, and it looked like the ball came out very late after he hit the ground. They'll rule him down. We'll check the penalty for you. Hardy has been very disappointed in his own performance. He's already dropped as many balls this year as he has in the last 3 or 4. But the Dolphins very confident in his ability that he'll be back and make the good catches again.
Marino is really a team leader. He's in the middle of that, saying, hey, what's going on over here? Shula's mentioned that Dan Marino really takes an interest in every aspect of the game.
Number 34.
That's Woody Bennett.
And Bennett is in there because he is the Dolphins' best blocker.
from the end zone here. Looks like he hit Gene Lockhart from behind. Woody Bennett, right there.
Yeah, he's pushing him from behind.
So that makes it 1st and 20. And the Dolphins often penalized here in the first half. Very unusual for a Don Shula team. And they go to Stradford on the toss. He's got a chance. Stradford caught from behind Francis and Everson Walls inside the 15. A 52-yard run, the longest of the year for Troy Stradford.
That was Michael Downs, I believe, that really called him deep. But again, it's Dallas expecting the pass. A little bit leaning on the run. Giesler again knocks out Walls, and then Stradford gets to the outside. Francis is blocked downfield by Pruitt, and then it's off to the races here. But Downs, 26, comes in late in the picture, grabs him from the jersey and throws him to the ground. But a great run by Stradford, but excellent blocking at the point of attack.
Very impressed with Stradford so far.
1st and 10 from the 14. Marino off the hands of Dan Johnson, the backup tight end. The ball thrown behind him, and he couldn't grab it. Johnson came back last week for the first time after an injury, had only 1 catch. That was for a touchdown. He could have been 2 for 2.
Well, Johnson releases a little bit to the outside, is pushed he comes back to the inside, and the ball's thrown to the other side, but it's a catchable football right there. Johnson's got good hands, normally makes that catch. Marino's upset. He's either upset that the ball was dropped or he threw it to the outside. Probably a little bit of both.
Marino 6 out of 11, but has hit only 1 of his last 4. This is 2nd and 10. Stradford on the delay. Slipped 1 tackle. Got a couple of yards out of something that looked like a loss. Jeff Rohrer made the tackle.
You know, you talk about the drop balls. They've been plaguing the Dolphins. Last week, 5 drop balls, including a touchdown to Pruitt. What did you say to a receiver when he dropped the football, Roger?
I really didn't say very much at all, because I knew that I threw some passes that were into the ground or over their head, and they also made some great diving catches. But and it can affect. It just depends on the receiver. Some you can make it a little bit of an encouragement that, hey, don't worry about it, I'll go to you the next time. But normally didn't say anything as far as criticism.
3rd and 8. Four-man rush, time to throw. He got Clayton at the 9-yard line. That will be shy of the first down. And Everson Walls played it very well. He just didn't want him getting inside the 5. And this is going to bring on Fuad Reveiz, who has only had 5 field goal opportunities all year long. He's made 4 of them.
Shows you it's pretty explosive for the 7-pointer for this football team.
Exactly.
Not much a field goal team.
Yeah, Marino puts him in the end zone.
Yep.
Reveiz will try a 26-yarder.
Yeah, you keep picturing that, though, that tight end open, and in your mind you're saying that was a key play in this drive and makes a difference in 4 points if he makes this field goal.
Reveiz out of Strock's hold, and it's good. Fuad Reveiz, 5 out of 6 this year, and he has put Miami on top of Dallas, 10.
Dreams still come true in the NFL. Kelvin Martin, the rookie for the Cowboys. Troy Stradford, the rookie for the Dolphins. Teammates, roommates at Boston College. Both grew up dreaming of playing for the teams they're playing for tonight. It does still happen, folks. Both impacting the game tonight, I might add. Martin almost broke the kickoff for a touchdown. Troy Stradford with a couple of big runs.
Hey, Stradford's really quick. He gets that line of scrimmage so fast that it really makes a difference. He's got excellent hands as a receiver also.
Reveiz to kick off. Got this one pretty well. And Martin at the 4. He took a shot from Rick Graff, the rookie linebacker. And that's how you make your mark on special teams. Pelluer comes back in. They love Graff in Miami. They said you need a lunatic on defense, and he qualifies.
They love his nasty demeanor. The 2nd pick, Wisconsin, 6'5", 245 for Graff. Coming along slowly.
Well, Pelluer is keeping him honest with the run, but he's got to start throwing the football. He's not going to win with the run, but you can keep him honest, so he's got to start throwing the football when he gets a chance.
Only 1 out of 5 passing so far. Fake to Walker. Here he goes again. Pelluer dives down at the 40, has another first down. Offerdahl had to bring him down. 72 yards rushing for Pelluer. He's going to make everybody forget Walker.
Does he cost the offense anything, though, when he heads upfield as quickly as he does?
No, he has to have that balance. That time he was looking for Cosby, and he saw Cosby wasn't wide open, but he didn't go to a secondary receiver. He just ran the ball. He's got to look for that secondary receiver when his main guy's not open. That time I saw him looking at Cosby, could have hit the back in the flat, but he decides to run. That's the secondary receiver is running.
First and 10 at the 40. Walker, the remaining back. Walker has it. Lunges into the line this time and brought down. Brown is up there for the tackle. We have 6:35 to go in the first half of play, and it's Miami on top 10-7. Dallas jumped to a 7-0 lead on a Pelluer to Newsome pass. Stradford came back with a 19-yard run, and Reveiz just moments ago hit from 26 yards out. So it's a 10-7 lead, and we have a 2nd and 7 for Dallas. Mike Packer, Troy Firestone, and Roger Staubach, our guest analyst. Glad to have you with us on ESPN. Nice fake to Walker that time by Pelluer, and here he goes. Chased out of the pocket. And he'll get to the sideline. Blackwood chases him out about half a yard shy of a first down. There is a flag now. And one thing, Roger, to follow up on your comment about him looking at only one receiver, they have not gotten a great deal of pressure on him, so he really hasn't had to run that much.
Well, that's true. Miami's only had 12 sacks all year, so they're not going to put a lot of pressure on the quarterback. That's not their defense. They'd like to get more on him, but they don't rush a lot of people. They don't blitz a lot. So
Face mask foul. Number 49. Defense. 5 yards. First down.
William Judson. Boy, he was called a lot last week. 4 flags, pass interferences on Judson. Shula's about had it with Judson, I think.
He heard his number announced more often than he would like last week.
Also burned for a couple of touchdowns, too.
And he is the best cover man in that Dolphins secondary. First down at the Miami 45-yard line. Dallas trying to tie it up, or better, go ahead. And they'll go straight up the middle with the fullback, Timmy Newsome, who broke one earlier in the ballgame. College basketball already coming on ESPN. We've got 3 live games on Friday. I hope you saw the Syracuse, North Carolina game. First, Kansas will face Chaminade. That's in the Maui Classic. We really had to force some people to go over there and cover that one. 2 o'clock Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. Then at 7 o'clock, Dick Vitale got the great assignment. He's going to the Great Alaska Shootout. You got Syracuse against Alaska, Anchorage, and Michigan against Miami. Dick would have just got the sunburn in him. Walker on the toss. They got him at the 40-yard line. Offerdahl again in on the tackle. And Roy, you know as well as anyone how well Offerdahl had played before the injury and how much the Dolphin defense really sank when he left.
Yeah, he had the bicep tear, which is a very painful injury. Steve Garvey in baseball had the same kind of injury. Literally, the bicep ripped from the bone. He missed 10 weeks. Extremely painful. Takes a long time to have any kind of therapy for that kind of muscle tear. He's back, and he is back with a vengeance. We said before, 9 tackles in his first game back last week.
Herschel Walker has gained 41 yards tonight, but 10 of those 12 rushes have been for 3 yards or less. So Miami's done a fine job at holding him down. Pelluer this time hangs in the pocket, throws to Newsome. Newsome covered beautifully by David Fry out of Purdue, a backup linebacker, and he planted him as soon as he caught it.
So Pelluer's just going to, have in his mind that he's not going to make a mistake. He's not going to throw that ball in any questionable coverage, and that's good and bad. You got a guy like Marino, he makes a mistake, he forgets about it. Pelluer just doesn't want a mistake. You can see that in his style of play, and he's just not throwing the ball, taking any chances. And he's going to have to take a chance or two, because there's some receivers in that middle intermediate area that he's going to have to start drilling the ball into him.
A little too tentative.
Yes.
Mike Saxon is on to punt. Schwades is back there with Blackwood. Saxon is great at getting the ball down inside the 20. Schwades, fair catch at the 9. That's the 12th time this year that Saxon has put the ball inside the opponent's 20-yard line. Back in a moment.
He is 63 years old, the number 3 all-time winningest coach. Tom Landry taking a lot of heat. We'll tell you about it in just a few moments.
Miami takes over inside its own 10. Marino will throw it from anywhere to Hampton. Rohrer has him at the 15-yard line and drives him back.
Last week when the Cowboys, or a couple of weeks ago when they were flat against the Lions, Tex Schramm was quoted saying, the president of the Cowboys, that the teacher, meaning Landry, must teach, that he's not teaching enough anymore. Your thoughts, Roger?
Well, that was in the heat of the battle. They'd lost to Detroit, and Walker only touched the ball once in that fourth quarter. So Tex wants to win very badly. That's his, and he's a fierce competitor. And through the years, Landry's had his challenges, but he's always worked his way through them. And I still feel he's a heck of a football coach, and he'll work his way through this situation.
2nd and 5 for Marino. Got a rush this time. Throws incomplete. Intended for his tight end, Dan Johnson. You know, the thing that bothers me is criticism of Shula or criticism of Landry. Coaches make mistakes. They're human beings. But look at what those guys have done for nearly 30 years. That's almost impossible to criticize.
We saw a couple of letters in the paper today asking for Landry's resignation.
If you were here in 1969 and 70, there would have been probably more letters in the paper asking for his resignation. So that's nothing new when you're in a bit of a down. After 74, it was the same thing, but Dallas came back in 75 and got in the Super Bowl.
Time is the test, and they both passed it. Bumping, Francis ran into Duper, and a flag goes down. It wasn't much of a bump, but it was there.
Those are tough calls right there. Obviously, the ball was a little bit short, and Francis has a right to the ball. Duper had to stop, so they ran into each other, but it was pushing.
Number 38, defense.
Crowd doesn't like it at all. Neither does Francis. Neither does Landry.
Not a particularly well-thrown football. It appears to me as though Marino's underthrowing a lot tonight, Roger.
Well, he got that ball a little bit late. He threw it a little bit late, didn't get it out there. But here's the receiver is going deep. The ball's short, so he stops, and Francis has a right to the ball. I don't believe that is interference right there.
On the replay, it certainly didn't look like it. Crowd saw the replay, too. You can forget it this time for Stradford. He is wrapped up in a hurry by Jim Jeffcoat, the first time we've called his name tonight.
For a change, a #1 pick for the Cowboys in recent years, showing his stuff. Jim Jeffcoat, maybe the hardest worker on the team.
Yeah, Jeffcoat escapes inside of Hardy's block and makes a play. Jeffcoat was hurt last year at the end of the year, which kind of hurt him as far as the last part of the season, but he's healthy and playing well this year.
He was drafted before Dan Marino was drafted. 4 spots. Marino unloads, and he's got Johnson in Dallas territory at the 47-yard line. Covered that time by Gene Lockhart. Brooks was putting the pressure on. And we have the 2-minute warning here in the first half. The Dolphins leading the Cowboys. It's 10-7. The 14th game of the regular season, and Dan Marino throws to Jimmy Cephalo for a record-setting 37th touchdown pass in a single season. Marino ended the year with 48, and if that record can ever be broken, Marino is the man to do it.
Dan Marino, for every 8 completions, he throws a touchdown pass. That's a pretty heavy stat.
That's unbelievable. He's just, he's at the top of the pack, and there's some great quarterbacks. You saw the shootout with McMahon and Elway, and there's a lot of good ones. Marino, statistically, though, is above the rest.
The numbers he has racked up are absolutely frightening. I mean, he's going to catch guys like Unitas before he's 30 years old if he remains healthy. Blitz coming, he reads it, gets it out to Stradford. Very close to first down territory. They'll mark it inside the 40. You just can't get to him. He reads defenses so well, and he unloads it so quickly.
Now look at these. These are the list of quarterbacks that were selected before Dan Marino. Remember this. Marino's had more 3-touchdown games than Elway, O'Brien, Eason, Kelly, and Blackledge combined. More 3-touchdown games. But in the last couple of years, he's won only about less than half of those 3-touchdown games. It shows you how porous the Dolphin defense has been.
1st and 10. Stradford. Oh, nice hole up the middle, and Stradford down to the 32-yard line. Bill Bates, last man up off the pile.
You know, when Dallas, they keep their run defense in there when the Dolphins only have 2 wide receivers. If they bring in 3, Dallas is switching around. But Miami's running against Dallas's kind of quasi-flex. You don't use the same gap defense when you're playing Marino, but they got their linebackers in there, and they're running against Dallas's run defense.
We're down to 1:24 to go first half. Dolphins up by 3, looking for more. Marino with all day, throws in the flat. Nice play by Everson Walls, who came up and knocked it away from Mark Clayton.
Walls is really a cluer, boy. He can read the quarterback. He reads the quarterback set. He saw the release, and then he just closed real fast right here. Good close with Walls. He read that play all the way and did a nice job. Almost intercepted the pass.
Everson Walls could lose $860,000 in annuities for his strike position, for staying out during the strike. He said if he has to, he'll take Tex Schramm to court.
$800,000. 3rd and 3, Miami. Jim Jensen, the king of 3rd downs, comes in and catches the ball. Now it's incomplete. Albritton was over there on the coverage, and apparently Jensen couldn't hold it.
This is an interesting call right here.
They've gone to Jensen on 3rd downs out of the backfield.
Jensen just couldn't keep possession right here. He was hit, popped, the ball started coming loose, almost a fumble, but he didn't really have possession. Ruled it incomplete, but it's a call here. I think Shula made the right decision to go for the, even though it's 4th and 3, to go for the 1st down instead of the field goal.
Now there's some confusion getting on and off. This is what happened last week.
Jensen came in, then went off. 4 wide receivers on the field, 4th and 3. Stradford on the run, and Stradford down to the 27-yard line. He's got the 1st down. Kevin Brooks made the tackle.
That's a gutsy call right there. I was looking for, they had 4 wide receivers in there, looking for some kind of pick for a short completion. He tricked him with the inside play. But Stradford's got that explosive speed. He's at that line of scrimmage, bam, and you don't have to hold your blocks as long, because you just hold that block for a split second. He's there, and he gets 2 or 3 yards. Good call.
And a good block here from the all-pro Dwight Stevenson, right over the middle, right over the nose tackle here. There he is, 57.
Again, they're looking for pass, and they tricked him, and Francis in the middle was looking for Stradford man-to-man in the pass, and he kind of took a step backwards, and they crossed him with the run.
We are down to 1:05 to go, and Roger, you always had the reputation as the king of the 2-minute drill, the guy who could bring a team from behind. Marino does it as well as anyone in the game now, doesn't he?
Well, there's quite a few that really have their adrenaline pumping at the right time, and in Marino, the Montanas, the Elways, McMahons, there's an array of quarterbacks that love the 2-minute period because it's an exciting period of time. It's a period of time where you really function at your best as far as that adrenaline pumping, and Marino with that arm, those receivers can really make things happen in the 2-minute period.
This will be the 10th play of the drive. Four-man rush, and it's dropped by Hardy. And that is what has happened to Bruce Hardy this year. He's dropped about a half dozen passes that normally he would have caught.
And you know, the irony is he may have the best hands of anybody on this football team. Incredibly resilient football players, come back from a number of injuries. It's a former quarterback, by the way, folks, at Arizona State under Frank Kush. Having problems holding on to the ball tonight.
You notice Marino's throwing a lot of passes backing up. Dallas is putting pretty decent pressure on him in the passing situation. He's backing up, but he's not getting that extra split second he'd like to have. He's getting some very good rush without the blitz.
Directing traffic now. Marino 10 out of 19, but by our count, he's had 4 balls dropped. Can he get it off in time? Just beat the 30-second clock. Throws it. Picked up. Intercepted by Ron Francis. The rookie out of Baylor stops the drive. And Marino is not happy about the setup he had before he got that play off. He was really rushed.
Well, he was. Duper was cutting to the inside, but Francis read that all the way. He took the inside position. Marino again was backing up through the ball, but Francis just had the inside covered very well and made a nice catch. In addition to covering the receiver, he caught the football.
And again, a poorly thrown ball by Marino, I think. Well, behind his man.
Trying to drill it into the inside, though. Francis anticipated that. He clued the play, and they were rushing. They barely got the ball off. There's 1 second.
Yeah.
But he drilled that ball to the inside. It's a tough pass to intercept, but Francis did a nice job.
Now you've got an interesting situation as Walker breaks it out. I was just going to say, you have a quarterback who's done all of his damage running. What do you do with only 50 seconds to go? Well, what do? You give it to Herschel.
Well, Dallas likes to screen or draw on first down the 2-minute period, and that was a great draw play.
Walker is a real load, and now Pelluer will go to the sideline. Stay with us at halftime. Chris Berman will be in the studio and recap Week 9 of the NFL. Tom Jackson will be there to analyze the first half. And Roy and Roger will have a discussion about the Service Academy and the 5-year commitment for athletes, something that Roger Staubach did. Some other guys would like to get out of, and we invite you to stay tuned for that at halftime because they've got some interesting opinions on it. Your assessment so far of the job Pelluer has done in the first half did essentially what you said he would do.
Well, he's really has been geared not to make mistakes. Let Herschel run the football and then hit the play-action passes. He did throw the one in the end zone that was thrown away, but overall he's played a tentative first half throwing the ball, but he's run very well, and he's moved the football. We had an exciting beginning, both teams, but they've pretty well stabilized, and we haven't had much scoring since.
Roger, what are the plays you call for the last 40 seconds?
Well, they usually go to the 2. They'll have 2 plays, usually a screen, draw, something short, and come running back with a more of a longer play. This time
4-man rush. Pelluer hangs in the pocket, throws, and this one is intercepted. William Judson picked it off. Intended for Kelvin Edwards and badly underthrown.
Yeah, they had a long time to talk over in the sideline, so they made up their mind that they felt Edwards could get to the corner, but Judson stayed outside. They were not obviously in the defense that they had talked about on the sideline, because that was a pass to Edwards all the way. He's kind of looking down the middle, then he comes back. He really had his mind made up to go to Edwards. Tried to look Judson off, but he did not. He was looking in the middle, just threw the ball without looking. Judson hung to the outside. They were really in the wrong defense, I'm sure, that they thought they would be in when they talked on the sideline.
Here are the numbers on Pelluer. He has gained 78 yards rushing in the first half, but passing he is only 2 out of 7 for 8 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. So you got another running back.
Yeah, make him a tailback. Yeah. That's your answer.
35 seconds and 2 timeouts is a lot of time for Dan Marino.
And he'll start from his own 36. Dolphins up 10-7. See if they can capitalize on the break. Jensen got to the 45, 46-yard line, brought down by Vince Albritton, one of the backup safeties. And Marino playing hurry up. You see the clock in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. 2 timeouts left, so they can stop it, but they've got to hurry. Marino threw near side, intended for Duper, but Ron Francis was the closest one to it. I think Marino just threw that one away after he saw the coverage.
Well, he might be upset at himself also because Francis had the short coverage. Bates was deep, so there was no chance on the short pass. So I think Marino misread what, or Duper was supposed to run a different route. But see, Francis had him short. There was help. There was help deep. Yeah, he had
11 seconds to go. Miami needs about 30 yards to get the field goal right, maybe 25.
Big gap in that middle, I'll tell you that.
And that's where he throws. Stradford made the catch. 32-yard line, and they'll call a timeout with 4 seconds left and give after a 23-yard gain, give their field goal kicker a chance at it.
And what a fabulous catch on the part of Stradford. This guy is like coiled wire at 5 foot 8 inches. Over the shoulder, Roger, making this catch in traffic, taking the big hit, and still getting up and calling timeout after all of this.
Well, that was a good defense if it's the end of the game and you have to win with a touchdown. But a field goal at this moment, they were just so deep that middle was wide open. If he makes this field goal, they pretty much gave him an opportunity there with the defense they called.
It will be a 48-yard try, and that would match the longest successful kick that Reveiz has made this year. He already has one field goal in this game, 26 yards, to give them that 3-point margin at 10-7. I think all in all, both defenses have played rather well here in the first half, and that was certainly the concern of Miami. Dallas defense has been playing well most of the season.
Yeah, this game's a funny game. At the start of this game, everybody you think there'd be 28 points on the scoreboard by each team, but they settled down. The defenses have played well. They put a good pressure on Marino. He hasn't had enough time to really pick out his receivers.
Strock holds, and it's Reveiz from the 48-yard line. Or for a 48-yard attempt, excuse me. Line drive, and he hooked it left. So they get the interception, but come up empty on the break. You're watching the Miami Dolphins and the Dallas Cowboys on ESPN. We're at halftime. The Dolphins lead by 3. Let's go back to the studio.